Alrighty, so this is Ryobi's 36 volt battery powered lawnmower. It comes with the 46 centimeter deck, and what I've currently been using for the last 5 years is a petrol powered lawnmower. I've had no complaints with it, but it's kind of time now for me to sort of step into the more of the battery powered tools, and Ryobi has sent this out for us to try, and I'm super excited. Are you?
Yeah, I mean, we've tried one electric lawnmower in the past. So this is the second one that we'll have an opportunity to try out. This one's got a slightly bigger cutting deck as well, so by 4 centimeters in the one we've tried. I'm just a bit disappointed for you in the fact that I know how much you love the Ryobi lawnmower powered by the Subaru engine.
Ooh, Subaru.
Sorry, the Subaru engine. So for you to have to retire that and not be able to match that bad boy on your right, it's a little disappointing, but I think this is bringing you into the
I'm due for a lawnmower update anyway. I think it's getting time where I need to get a new one, so here it is. So we have already made a bit of a video on us unboxing these new tools that Ryobi sent us, but we're just going to give you another fake unboxing. This is a kit, so it already comes with a 6 amp hour 36 volt battery, and it also comes with a fast charger. The fast charger means that you can just charge your battery slightly quicker, not quite 50% as quick, but near enough. And I think it's quite important, especially if you got, you know, a little bit of charge on your battery, you got halfway through your lawn, you're like, oh damn it, now I'll just quickly whip it on, and you might get a little bit extra, as opposed to spending the time with a slower charger. So I think that's a little helpful upgrade that they provide in this kit.
That battery that they throw in with the charger, the 6 amp hour, will charge in 1 hour with the included charger. I think the standard 36 volt charger would charge in about an hour and a half. So you do shave a bit of time off with the fast charger in there.
This is our easy catch bag. I think, is it 55 litres?
55 litre bag?
Doesn't say. Probably does somewhere. 55 litre catcher bag. And here's our 36 volt battery.
The interesting thing about this tool as well is you can put 2 batteries in there for increased runtime and performance. So we'll get an opportunity to play with that shortly.
Before I forget, I always forget to do this, but it's super important to make sure that you register your tools online. So that by doing that, it sort of starts the ownership with Ryobi, and it says, hey, I bought this tool at this time. That means you're going to get your 4 years plus an extra 2 years warranty on the tool. So super important to do that. There's basically no questions asked if you do that. You know, if you say, oh, yeah, I had the tool and then I kind of kept the receipt but kind of didn't, then when you take it back to Bunnings there, you know, it's a bit of a grey area. So I recommend you do that. This is for the catcher bag. So there is a little bit of assembly required.
Just sliding that into the bag, isn't it? Making sure you got it the right way, and then does it Velcro on?
No, it doesn't Velcro in, it sort of hooks around.
Oh, okay, you've got the tab there almost to slide it into.
I think from memory, does it go on the inside or on the outside?
It goes on the inside.
I think it goes up that way. So right now, I would prefer if this Ryobi lawnmower came with the old school plastic catcher. Would you?
Yeah, I think that's just a bit fiddly, and I think the plastic catchers are nice and easy to clean as well. You hose them out, whereas this is probably going to retain a bit of moisture in the material of the bag.
And I think also your grass clippings are also going to get stuck within this mesh here.
Say so.
But I suppose it's helpful for packaging it up. You know, you can take this apart, you could probably store it as well, so if you're a bit short on storage space, then you could collapse this bag and put it to the side.
How much of a pain would that be, having to do that every time you want to mow though? I don't think that's something you're realistically going to do, so I think in a perfect world you want a different catcher bag. It does look nice though, while it's brand new. Come back in a couple of months.
Yeah, I think I would prefer a plastic, what do you call it, plastic catcher? So what I do like about this tool just straight away is that it folds and collapses really nicely. So it is nice and compact, and when it's all folded away, you can stow it really easily. So, you know, you could store this against the wall in your shed.
Yeah, the other great thing about being able to store it like this as well is because it's electric and battery powered, you don't have any fluids, you don't have any fuel, you don't have any oil in there, so you're not spilling anything. So you can turn this any which way you like, and it's not affecting any type of filter, any type of fuel. Really, really nice when it comes to cleaning it as well.
And then it's super easy to make up. So these are just really nice clips into place there and locks into place. So, and then the handle is from memory just 2-point adjustable. So it's either at this level or you can extend this out. Or was that locked in? Maybe, yeah, there we go. To a second height setting there. At the back of the tool here, we do have our mulching plug that sits in the inside there. So if you were someone who likes to mulch the lawn clippings rather than have them go into the catcher bag, then that is an option for you. And then other than that, then this easy catch bag just sort of slides on the top, sort of does a reverse of how that mulching plug came out. So the operation of the tool is we've got two spots here that we can slide our two 36-volt batteries in. So it does only come with one, but I do have another one which we will use later on. So just like every other 36-volt tool, it just slides in place.
And increased performance when two batteries are used on there, and obviously you get longer run time as well. So start her off by using one battery, see how we go. And then we've got controls on the top of the tool here. So one of those benefits, right, of having the electric tool is it's power straight on. There's no priming, there's no pulling a cord. You've got a safety trigger there.
So safety trigger there, on off, and then mode. So eco, power, and smart. And then on the side here we've got how much battery we've got left. So we've only got one battery in there and it's fully charged. If we had two in there, you would see where the other cell would come up to. So it's kind of like a, I guess, a little fuel gauge on how your mower's going. And then we've also got some safety lights on top of there that gives us some warning. So our height adjustment of the tool, so if you come back around this side here, we've got on the lowest setting is 25 millimeters and on the highest setting is 100 millimeters. And ease of operation for this tool here, and then it's just up and down.
It's a little bit different, right? Normally you've got like a lever on tools where
on the side there where you can lock it in place and you know.
So that's a bit different. Easy enough though.
It's not overly heavy, but that is something to consider if you were sort of struggling with lifting that up. Maybe a lever might be better for you, so just bear that in mind. It will get a little bit heavier with another battery in there. And
25 millimeters is your lowest cutting depth, so I mean this is going to do pretty well on a summer type grass like kikuyu or couch, but you're not going to be able to get that ultra low cut. Something like this though, with that 100 mil top height, you're going to be really nice on lawn like a tall fescue. So what height are you going to cut this on?
Well, I mowed at the beginning of the week, and so this is not going to be a video showing you how much this thing can cut through real big thick grass. You know, this is regularly mowed and regularly maintained, so I am just taking the top off this grass here. It is going to rain potentially, so I usually go pretty short with this type of grass just because, you know, we're doing the lawn project as well at this point in time. So I don't know, what do you think?
I think go low, 25 mil.
Go right, it's on to the lowest.
To that, yeah, we're trying to stick to that third of a cut rule, right? So cut no more than a third off your lawn each cut.
I'm not going full short.
Maybe a little bit higher.
I brought it up a little, couple of notches from short.
Cool.
I am on 1, 2, setting number 3. I'm going to go to setting 4. Or was that too high?
We'll find out very shortly.
Okay, let's crack on. We need to go lower.
Told you.
Should we just slam it? That's right on the ground.
Okay, so we're cutting at 25 mil.
So what I've noticed is that although it does have easy edge,
Yep.
so that's fine. So the wheels and the easy edge, you could get really nice and close here. But when we come along this side, well, it's also it's the same. So easy edge on either side. These here actually stick out slightly further than the tool.
So it's not the actual deck of the tool, it's the arms on it that are causing.
And I've noticed that I've
issue
already smashed up against the side of here. Is it? Am I making that up? No. It's pretty close, right? So if we come back, yeah.
Yeah, it's slightly further out.
So there
when
it
you
is.
do hit those points on your fence.
It is going to slide up against that. So you can't get right up there. And as you've noticed here along the side here, this is a constant problem when you come up to the edge. So I am going to have to get the weed eater or line trimmer and trim along there. So just be mindful that these do protrude out slightly further than the easy edge. I suppose this is alright if you were coming up with like a concrete path or what have you. But you've got to be a bit mindful. You are going to come out slightly from these fence posts here. So one thing I've noticed that if we come up to the deck here, this is all plastic deck, there's very little give in the actual suspension components here. I mean, it's just a, with my other mower with the metal deck, this has got a lot more give, and so it will move up and down, and that will give you a lot better glide. You can see here, we are mowing on an exceptionally low setting here, the lowest setting that you can get. If I had come up to here, usually it would glide over and it would adjust and bounce up, but I think it gets a little stuck here. So if you were mowing this with a lawn that does have some undulation to it, just be mindful there that you could have this problem here. You can feel the machine having to work just a touch when we come into this thicker, more denser type grass. So I'm going to put another battery in there and see what sort of effects it gives us. Does it sort of make it a little easier on the machine?
And do you need to put that in power mode?
It's already in power
Already
mode.
in power mode? Okay, so theoretically.
So your two batteries, fully charged, power mode. You can do eco and smart as well.
Okay, but we want to see if we really have the power to cut through some of this thick Kikuyu grass.
I think it definitely helps the tool out. Let me just try again. Yeah, definitely.
So you got the second battery in there
It does
again.
give you that extra oomph. You know, this is like not huge struggle. This is like you can just feel it just having to work a little bit harder on that one battery. Whereas on here, it just seems to glide a lot nicer. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so the key on this tool then is if you're cutting thicker grass, because you had absolutely no trouble when it gets a bit thinner around the front. But
Yeah, no
this stuff
no
here,
problem.
This is quite thick Kikuyu.
And this isn't long either, so
It's not at all. But two batteries is the key to get through something like this. Your height of cut is still slightly up, so it'll be interesting to see if you did bring it down a bit again, to see if you'd still be able to cut through with these.
I can feel it. This is on two batteries on power mode. You can feel it. And that's on the lowest setting as well. So let's see what it's like with one battery. I've really dropped it down low.
Is that back to the lowest setting that we're on right now?
You can even hear it.
You can hear it grinding. Yeah, okay, so just above that minimum setting on the tool.
You can even hear it now. You can hear it when it's, you know,
Catching the grass.
catching the grass.
So what are your thoughts then now? You need to go back and forth a couple more times?
I need to have another. But this is pretty thick grass. This would happen with my petrol mower too though. So if I really slam the petrol mower, you can see where it would, you know, do that and it would struggle and free up and struggle and free up. So this would happen as well.
So we've probably got about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes under our belt on this lawnmower. We've both taken turns using it. And obviously this is your lawn, so you probably got the best feel for how something like this performs compared to the standard petrol-powered Ryobi lawnmower you've been using.
Yeah, so I think if you've got a really nicely well-maintained lawn and it's not undulated, then you're probably not going to notice any difference between this and your regular power mower.
Would agree, yeah.
One battery, really no difference. If you put in a second battery, there is some noticeable power gain from the machine, absolutely.
I heard it was a bit noisier as well, and I feel like that's just that extra power.
Yeah. However, I do think it's pretty quiet. This is definitely a lot quieter than your typical petrol mower, and I think it's quite nice and pleasant to work with. I mean, the tool feels nice, it ergonomically fits quite well, and the lower decibels in operation is definitely a nice feature of it.
I think one of the things that I really like about this as well, and it's not necessarily unique to this specific model, but it's something that this does have the benefit of, is just how quick it is to stop and start.
Correct.
And I think where that comes in really handy is if the neighbour walks past, you want to have a quick chat, it's not a big deal trying to turn this off, power it back up. The other great thing is if you are going through a lot of clippings and you're having to take that catcher off, you're not having to do that whole process where it's like, oh, is it almost full? You're gonna let off the trigger, it turns off, take the catcher away. You don't have to go through that whole process.
When you lower the revs down on a petrol one, it splatters all the clippings everywhere, and it's
a cleaner way of doing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I really like that. I think this tool has probably let itself down a little bit with the bag. It looks fine. I think it's just going to be if you're catching wetter clippings, that's going to be a bit of a pain. And obviously the first time putting that together as well, that wasn't particularly elegant watching you put that together, but I guess once it's built, it's fine. Probably just don't want to get it too wet, or you do want to leave it out to dry.
So where this tool is slightly different to what I've used before is I am mowing on ground that is undulated.
Yeah.
And so this is a pretty solid plastic deck. There's no real movement in the wheels, and so when you do come to a high spot on your lawn, it gets stuck.
Yeah, you really have to push through it. I don't think there was ever a time when I was thinking the blades were going to get stuck on it. But you really do need to power through. So I think a self-propelled machine would probably make it a bit easier. But if you've got a nice level lawn, I think this would breeze through it. It's just because you do have these patches, which we're going to get around to fixing throughout.
And I think maybe what we're feeling is we're feeling that blade or the bottom of the deck get stuck rather than a drop in power.
I think so.
I think this is definitely powerful enough for this type of area, and even if the grass was longer, I think there's no problem there. It is just at the bottom of the deck. You could raise this up, and I could have let the grass grow a little bit longer, and that would probably alleviate a lot of that. But on a nice, well-maintained flat lawn, this definitely is an option to replace your typical
petrol-powered lawnmower.
Yeah,
I think one of the things this has going for it too, I think for electric lawnmowers, it's not a bad-looking one. No. Like, I think this looks actually quite nice.
Ryobi done a really good design on this. It looks sleek, modern, but sort of keeps what a typical lawnmower should really look like.
Yeah, and I think that's because you've got your wide cutting deck. You do have a really big compartment here where you do put your batteries, which is where your motor would normally be on a normal petrol-powered lawnmower. So it looks pretty traditional in that fashion, except you've got all of the benefits of electric, that quick on-off, your battery gauges here, not having to deal with fuel, and the ability that if I want to right now, we can turn this. We can put it this way.
And we can clean
we're
it.
We're going to lose some clippings.
And we can clean
it
under there.
easily. We don't have to worry about oil getting into filters, spilling fuel, and then you've got that added benefit as well. You can fold this down, store it upright.
And I think
easy.
what I am going to enjoy a lot better is I'm not having to do spark plugs.
Yep.
I'm not having to worry about oil. I'm not having to worry about petrol. If I was low on petrol, I'd have to shoot down to the servo and fill up. I mean, if I'm low on battery, I am going to have to charge. But it's something that I can manage a lot easier when I'm at home. I can put these on charge before I'm going to, you know, set up a big mowing session. So I think the benefits of this being battery powered is definitely better already off the bat than it being petrol.
And this is only going to be easier for you. Once we finish this lawn renovation, we get everything really level here. I think you're going to quite enjoy using this. Yes, you are still going to have to come behind with your line trimmer, fix up the fence line like we've got behind us, but that's no different to using your petrol powered machine either. And I think your 25mm cut here, this should be pretty sufficient. Even if you do want to have a really low tight cut on a Kikuya lawn, I think that's going to be absolutely fine. Unique way to change your height on there. Not sure if I'm in love with that. I really do like the notch and knowing that it's locked into a position, but we didn't have any issues with having this switch between heights.
It definitely feels solid too though. So it does. Plastic deck, we were a bit unsure about that, but it's definitely a solid built machine.
This has some weight
with
to
a couple of batteries in there, it definitely brings that weight up again. But I think all things considered, I think this is something that I would replace my petrol with.
I think that lawnmower is going to move on.
I think it's going to
be
move
the
on.
replacement.
Yep.
Well, then that way we're really well converted into the 36V range as well. We've got this, you've got your edger, and then also a new leaf blower as well. The only final thing for you to complete the 36V range will be the line trimmer, and then you're fully converted over to this battery system.
I think your garden range needs to be 36V.
Yeah.
I think there's some definite benefits over the 18V there. I'm going to run this all the time off 2 batteries. I think there's certain points in this lawn where I do get that gain out of that, so that's how I'm going to run this. But absolutely, I'm really excited to continue to use this tool.
So you'll see this a lot more in some of the lawn renovation videos that we're doing. I think next up on this lawn, we need to core it, and then we can get to the point of leveling it. Then we might come back along with this lawnmower again when we get to the wrap up of that series, do kind of a first mow after the renovation once it's nicely leveled, and we'll probably have some updated thoughts at that point in time. So thank you for watching the video. Again, huge thanks to Ryobi for sending this our way along with some of the other tools from the 36V range. Make sure you check out our other videos to have a look at some of those in operation, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Thanks for watching.